All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Retro Hoop Collectibles. This is our weekly PSA output update video that we do every week. Before we get into that, if you have not already, hit the subscribe button if you like this kind of stuff. I do this every week, Wednesdays at 6 p.m. We release the video. Also, if you have not already, follow me on Instagram at Retro Hoop Breaks. Also follow Collect 3D Prints on Instagram, and you can check them out also at collect3dprints.com. They do the slab display stands for all of your graded cards. So if you got some really nice graded cards that you want to display, I got all my stuff back there. This is where you go. They have them for PSA, BGS, SGC, HGA, as well as mag holders. Working on CSG, as well as vertical holders. So like this one here, where we're holding the card to the side. So those should be available pretty soon. Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool with the old Yoda. So yeah, check them out. They got a bunch of different colors for a bunch of different sizes. You can check them out, collect3dprints.com. It's pretty much kind of how it works here. It's put the card in. It's got a little kickstand in the back, and then you can display them. Like I have my Dream Team displayed here. Man, based on the way the Dream Team is, or the USA, I don't want to call them Dream Team, but the USA team is playing right now. These guys are, man, how I wish we had those guys again. But anyway, check them out at collect3dprints.com. Follow them on Instagram. Check them out on their website, and then follow me on Instagram at Retro Hoops. Before we get into that, we'll go really quickly through the complete through dates. Not much has changed. There has been some change on the. So this is from 7/18, and this is from 7/11. So not much changed in terms of the date. Not much change in terms of the dates. Not really much has changed in terms of the percentages either. I mean, there's a little bit that has changed. Let me make sure I'm not quarterly specials. So yeah, reholders went from, oh wow, holy crap, reholders went from October, jumped all the way to January. That's a big one. Collector club vouchers, no movement at all. No movement on the percentage. Ultra modern, no movement at all. Little movement on the percentage. Value modern, little movement on the date. Pretty decent movement on the percentage. Went up about 5% on completion of October. Vintage, no movement on the date, but again, pretty good jump in the percentage of what's complete for the month of October. September, not much change there, and August, not much change there for TCG and quarterly specials. Now, one of the things that we've noticed in the way that these CTDs are presented, again, we just started getting the percentage of complete dates that they're publishing now on a monthly basis. But one of the things that I did see on their website today was this here. And this is basically them telling us that the reason why we don't really see any of these dates moving is because that's the majority of their backlog. So the unprecedented demand for PSA's authentication grading services has far surpassed our grading capacity, which has resulted in a substantial backlog of orders waiting to be processed. No shit. The demand has created the backlog, and the demand that has created the backlog is largely driven by lower valued cards submitted via the value or bulk service levels. So that's going to be your group submitters, your quarterly specials, all that stuff. This chart illustrates the current state of the backlog, which more than 84% of it resides in the value submission. Now, I'm not sure why they decided to talk about this, like why they said this, um, or why they're putting this out there. Because to me, this makes no difference. They have a backlog. The backlog is what the backlog is. Whether or not that backlog was because of service levels or whatever, I mean, to me, none of that matters. I just don't know why. Like, to me, this is information. Like, they're putting this out there in the sense of like, oh, hey, just kind of perpetuating this whole idea that the submitters are submitting the wrong kind of cards, which that's something that I've seen you guys talk about in the comments a bunch, where you're saying, oh, well, if people weren't submitting, base crap, this backlog wouldn't have happened. Well, that's a very that's a very dismissive thing to say. Like, who is anybody to tell anybody what cards they should or shouldn't submit? I have submitted cards to SGC that maybe you wouldn't submit, but it's my card. I do whatever I want with it. And it's really on PSA who took in the order. So, I saw this and it just kind of was like, man, why would they even put that out there? Like, why does it matter? It doesn't matter whether you did it on a bulk service and paid $9 a card, or you submitted your card yesterday at $300 a card. Like, as far as they're concerned, that backlog is the backlog. They're not going to treat, well, I would hope that they wouldn't treat one card any better than the other, but it should all go through the same capacity. So I have no idea why they decided to do this, and I don't think it matters any. But they took the time to let you know that, hey, the majority of the cards that we're dealing with here are all bulk submission. Well, yeah, no shit. You were, grading cards for $9 a card, sometimes even $5 a card. So yeah, you got a ton of stuff. Especially when people realize that they could take a $2 card, pay $5 to get it graded. If it gets a 10, they can sell it for $50 and make a killing. Well, yeah, that's what happened. So, I don't know. I just thought that this was odd for them to highlight this, that the majority of their value services, the majority of their submissions or their backlog is part of the bulk. Well, yeah, that's why they call it bulk, because it's supposed to be the bulk. I don't know why they put out stuff like this. It's almost like they're making excuses for not shutting down or rearing back the services when they really should have. So I don't know. So getting into the numbers this week, pretty flat from last week. I honestly think that this is where they're going to stay. They're going to stay between 180 and 190 cards a week, roughly about 37,000 cards a day output. And nothing really has changed. It's been pretty consistent over the last couple of weeks. So I think that this is the ceiling. This is the level that they have gotten to, which I've said several times is very impressive. How in a span of maybe 2 or 3 months, they've almost they upped everything by almost 70% increase in their output and in their capacity. That's impressive. Forget about the industry. That's just impressive overall to be able to jump up your output that quickly. Has quality suffered a little bit? That's debatable. But the fact of the matter is that they're cranking out cards like nobody's business. So they're probably going to stay around that 180, 190 range. I don't really expect them to go any higher than that. And I honestly think that that's the level of capacity that they're going to work with going forward. And they're just going to hope that the current prices that they have their submission level set at is going to curb the input so that they can continue to output and continue to knock down at the backlog. So again, the big ones here as always, basketball is the biggest one. Very shortly, very, very, not very much more than baseball, which is the second one. And then TCG, and then football coming in third and fourth. So, basketball continues to be the thing, and really, if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, right? That basketball is always going to be the highest output or what gets submitted the most, because essentially you have a 5-player rotation as opposed to football, where really the only people that, I mean, the only players that are worth collecting are quarterbacks, maybe wide receivers, or maybe some few running backs. But for the most part, it's really just quarterbacks. Whereas basketball, you can have, I mean, there's, you can be collecting all 5 guys and submitting them, and any one of them can break out at any given moment and become a star. So it's more to shoot at in basketball. Baseball, again, I don't really know much about baseball. I've admitted to that several times. I'm a very casual Astros fan. I mean, I'm in Houston, so I'm a very casual fan of baseball, but I don't really get into that too much. And then TCG, I mean, I love Pokemon. Snorlax is my favorite Pokemon. That's pretty much it. I mean, outside of that, I don't know a whole lot either. But basketball always just continues to be king. As far as catch updates, I mean, again, I've told you guys I don't really put much stake into this anymore, just because PSA has already come out publicly and said, hey, listen, we don't care about getting caught up with our backlog right now. We're at a good pace, and we're just going to continue to chip away, and you guys are just going to continue to wait for your orders however long it takes. You don't like it, deal with it. So, I mean, still looking at January for the full catch-up based on an 8,000 card backlog. But if it's a 8 million card backlog, if it's a 10 million card backlog, it's like sometime in March before they get fully caught up. So, but I mean, we're talking about from the time that they opened up that service level, it's been pretty consistent, about 180,000 a week. So I think that's what we can continue to see is 180, 190,000 a week. The average right now is about 182,000. And I think that's where they're going to stay. So nothing really much has changed from week to week. I'm going to continue to do these updates. They're just going to get shorter and shorter. And then as any relevant information comes out, I'll bring it to you guys. A couple of y'all have asked about, could you do the same thing for SGC? Could you do the same thing for BGS? The answer is no. And the reason being is that their population report is not easily as accessible. PSA has a great pop report that you can actually go into and extract data from. SGC's pop report is more of, hey, tell me what card you're looking for, and then I'll give you the pop report. They don't really have a wide open database where you can go in and just start searching around. PSA does, and that's the reason why I'm able to extract the data as I've been able to do. So I'm going to dig around and see what I can find. Maybe there's some backdoor information that I can pull. I don't know. But for now, this is all I can get is PSA, just because they have such a good pop report. So still nobody has submitted a single coin. Where are my coins at? 281. Actually, a couple weeks ago, somebody submitted 10 of them. So I want to see that coin. Hockey coins. Nobody's done a hockey coin since. How many hockey coins have they done since then? 499, 464. Okay, about 30 of them. All right. I still don't know where coins come from. Where would you get a basketball coin now? I don't think anybody has any basketball coins. I know when I was looking for Peyton Manning rookie cards, there's a Peyton Manning rookie coin that's out there. But anyway, I digress. All right. Like I said, I'm going to keep it short and sweet if there's really not a whole lot to go over. But if you guys like to see this, continue to see this, hit the like button on this. Let me know down in the comments below if there's any other bit of data or anything that you'd like to see on a weekly basis that I can pull. I'll try to see what I can do about getting data. But in the meantime, like I said, PSA is kind of pretty much it at the moment. And really, they're the only ones that are working with a massive backlog that have the accessibility to their data. PSA also has a massive backlog, but BGS also has a massive backlog, but I don't really know too much about digging into their pop report, if they even have a pop report. I need to educate myself a little bit more on BGS, honestly. I haven't done so. Once I went to submit with them, and I saw that you couldn't do it online, and you had to submit like a paper submission thing. I gave up on them. I was like, oh, this is, so you guys aren't even trying to innovate. Let me just stop right there. So Anyway, that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoy these reviews, these updates. I'll continue doing them as long as you guys continue to enjoy them and watch them. I do think it's worth bringing in some information. It is bringing you guys some updates. I know several of you, like myself, have cards that have been held hostage for going on 10 months now, and you're curious to see what they're doing about it. And so this is kind of my way of showing you what they're doing about it. So I'll continue to put these together every week, Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. I love interacting with you guys in the comments as always. And I'll catch you guys on next week's update. Peace.